Are you expected to work or check emails or mobile phones outside working hours? How do you feel about that?
Our company says that you're not expected to check emails outside of work, but the problem is there are so many emails and there's always so much to do that if you don't, I can feel that I feel quite stressed at work, so unfortunately I do end up sometimes checking them at home.
I am expected to check emails and to pick up the phone. I try to limit how much I do that. If it's dinner with a friend or if I'm with my husband, I turn off my phone so that I can focus on the person I'm with. But I actually don't feel too great about it. I wish it was kind of, go to work, leave work in the evening and everything is done, but that's not really the world we live in.
I'm not expected to check them, but I do. And I feel absolutely comfortable with that. I think it's a good way of working. It shows flexibility in the workforce, and if you have children and you have flexible working hours, it's a must, really.
Well, I work for myself, so it's really entirely up to me whether I want to do that or not. So sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on how my mood takes me.
What do you find motivates you to work hard? Do you respond better to a stick or a carrot?
I definitely don't respond well to a stick. I'm quite a sensitive person, so I respond better to praise and encouragement. So for me, it would be the carrot.
I would say my motivation comes from inside. I'm probably my harshest critic, and so I do the best I can, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to live with myself. And I would say a stick is what motivates me, the threat of like failure or what will happen if I don't do my absolute best.
Oh, a bit of both, really. I think self-motivation is important, to sort of motivate yourself and achieve your own personal aims and goals. But at the same time, I do like to sort of please other people and do a good job for others.
Carrot, definitely. I just feel that that's more motivating at the end of the day. It makes me want to work hard and achieve more than rather somebody telling me I must do something. I don't really respond very well to that kind of authority.
In what ways are people who are brought up in the age of social media different from older generations?
They don't know how to have a conversation. They are fixated on the device in their hand, and they don't have common courtesy or manners, I think. Myself included. I'm as guilty of that as anybody.
I think particularly in terms of relationships, things have changed. I noticed with my children, they seem to have more online relationships than actual face-to-face relationships. I think that's a fundamental difference, and I think very often it kind of stops there, and they're quite happy having a digital presence or a digital communication.
The difference is they have every sort of information at their fingertips, so they should be not better educated, but differently educated. I think social media is quite a good thing, and but it does have its downside.
I think this is a subject quite close to my heart. They are they have huge access to information. I think they tend to go to technology as a first port of call in ways that maybe older generations would not.
Are you comfortable with technology?
Yes, very much so. I have no problems with technology whatsoever.
Personally, I think I'm up to date with technology and I carry it all the time with me. It's basically like a second skin to our new generation, I think, which keeps me away from the real world out there because it's always with me. Like, the invention of the iWatch, it's kind of like integrated to your skin. And I think I'm starting to hate technology as it grows faster and faster, and I feel like that human beings that actually produce technology are now being controlled by technology, and it's kind of reversing.
I'm comfortable-ish with technology. I'm okay. I'm not the world's best, but I'm not too far behind, I think.
Do you find it easy to get to sleep?
On the whole, I do find it easy to get to sleep. I find it much easier if I've done some exercise in the day. I find that makes me feel nice and relaxed.
I don't now. I used to, but my husband died a couple of years ago, and I don't find it so easy now. Some days I do, some days I don't.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no, it depends. But as I said, I was working from home, so I can manage my own sleep time. I never had any real issue to sleep because I don't need a lot of sleep.
I do find it easy to get to sleep, but I could probably use more.
What can people do to make sure they get a good night's sleep?
One thing I like to do is to do meditation, and I sometimes do that 10 minutes before sleeping. And switching off screens an hour before bed, that helps me to wind down also.
From what I've read, I understand that, well, meditation I think is good, and I have tried that. And I think exercise during the day, but not absolutely before you go to bed. Evidently, you shouldn't do that. Yeah, just calm and perhaps not watching some thriller on TV at the before you put the light out, and no television in the bedroom.
I would say you need to focus on your sleep, so just stop doing anything with relating to screens or computers or TV before you get to sleep. So maybe grab a book and listen to relaxing music on your bed, turn off the lights, and try to focus on your own body.
The best thing would be to go for a nice long run, or otherwise take some other type of exercise, or just simply having a nice hot drink before bed also works quite well.
What sort of TV programmes do you watch to relax?
I like food programs, travel programs. I like some really embarrassing girly programs. Grey's Anatomy would be my secret show.
Depending on the content, probably a good documentary I would watch. I like a good political program. If there's an interview with somebody I like a I like cultural programs as well.
Travel programs, a lot of those, especially with Michael Palin, who used to be in Monty Python, and now he is a writer as well.
Probably, look, I don't watch a huge amount of TV, but I enjoy things such as Sopranos and The Godfather, some of the old classic gangster stuff, and as perhaps heavy as that can be, it's escapism. So that would also be reflected in movies such as maybe Casino and one that's just out recently, some of the Mad Max films or the remakes as well.
Do you watch comedy programmes? What's your favourite and why?
I can only think of one that I watch now and again. I watch Modern Family, and I enjoy that. I think it's quirky and edgy, and I enjoy the characters.
Not too many comedy programmes. I'm a bit in the past. I like 40 Towers with John Cleese, and the classics like that. They make me laugh.
I do watch comedy programmes, and my favourite of the recent years have been 2012, which was a spoof of the London Olympics, and that the same team then went on to make W1A, which is a spoof made by the BBC about the BBC, and it's hilarious.